Thank you so much for joining us. How are you enjoying the conference so far?
It's been great so far. Many ideas have been shared by different people from different angles of human rights, and it's just fascinating.
Oh yeah, I agree. It's been absolutely amazing. I'm going to ask you a couple questions. So what does a democratized human rights framework look like to you in practice?
Well, a democratized human rights framework is a framework that sees or combines domestic and international human rights frameworks, that does not discriminate, that is inclusive, and respect the rights of every person, regardless of their race, color, sexual orientation, religion, creed, etc. And it is that framework which judges in enforcing the law, enforcing the rights of people, should see as universalistic and doesn't limit itself to culture, custom, or national sovereignty. So a democratized human rights framework is very inclusive, it is non-discriminatory, it combines domestic and international legal human rights instruments, and put together, it is very inclusive and it protects the rights of everybody.
Awesome. Brilliant answer. Follow-up question for you. How do you think grassroots movements can reshape the discourse surrounding democracy and human rights?
Well, I think grassroots movements can shape democracy in so many ways. And I think in Ghana it is happening.
Right.
So you have people mobilizing to put pressure on the government in terms of issues related to the environment, issues related to LGBT rights, issues related to albinism, and all kinds of human rights issues. And so sometimes it's really spontaneous. People read into the actions of government and say, this is a democracy and we can't accept this anymore. And grassroots have also mobilized to to ensure that there's government accountability. And as we have witnessed in Ghana recently, we had an elections in December 2024, and we changed the government in power, and this was largely through the efforts of grassroots movements that ensured that government policies that were not in sync with the rights of people were protested, and so there was greater awareness across board, and people mobilized to come together to vote to change the government of the day.
That's fascinating, absolutely fascinating. Thank you so much for talking to me about it. And one more question for you today. How does existing frameworks for interpreting democracy and or human rights shape your current research right now?
Well, the existing frameworks shape my work in so many ways, and so I'm influenced by a universalistic approach to human rights rather than a limiting cultural relativistic approach. And so I'm influenced by the fact that if there's a right to dignity, that the right to dignity applies to everybody, regardless of their sexual orientation, and therefore it cannot be limited on grounds of culture or custom. And so I think that by and large, my work has been influenced by that, and that has motivated me to litigate cases involving LGBT persons and all that fearlessly, because I believe in the fact that we are all human, we are all entitled to human dignity and respect for the right to privacy, right to freedom of association, of speech, etc. And you cannot limit some people and say because of a certain characteristic or orientation, then they cannot partake in that kind of universalistic approach. But we must also marry the universalism with localized, contextualized human rights framework. Because what we talk about as universal human rights norms are also inherent in our wise sayings and proverbs as citizens in Africa, in Ghana, and so it is a universalistic approach, but contextualized and localized.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for your participation today. Thank you for joining us.
Sure.